Welcome back to the Street Shaman Podcast. I am your host, Shamanic Poe, aka Poe and the Rockstar, and today I'm here with underground rap focused podcaster, comedian, and influencer Chuck Reeves. How you doing, my guy?
Man, I'm doing real good, fucking Poe. I appreciate you reaching out and having me over here with the Street Shamans. Salute and hello to all the Street Shamans out there, wherever the fuck you're watching. You know I'm all about my underground media. So when I see
Hell yeah.
people branching out from, I know you're a musician originally, and that is your focus. But it's always good to see
Right.
motherfuckers sharing their more complete picture versus, via these other medias. So I love that shit.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. So, what's the origin story of Chuck Reeves? Like, how did you start doing? Like, what inspired you to do all these things that you do now?
I didn't want to have a job. That's the short answer. I got sick of working, or at least working in your acceptable societal sense of the word. Um, in 2006, I completed a 10-year hitch as a active duty member of the United States Navy. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, got out under some circumstances that were not ideal. I had a medical discharge the same week that I got out of the military. The ship I was on that contained all my friends went to Japan, so I never saw my those friends again. My wife and me were in the middle of a divorce, so my divorce happened like that same month.
Mm,
So in my mid 20s, I had a huge life change happen.
right.
And about 2 weeks after that, I saw Tech Nine live in concert at a place called Canes in San Diego. Was recognized as a juggalo, started slinging CDs on the side for people, and then it just grew into here we are 15 years later. Um, I'm a fairly well recognized person within certain subsects and subcultures. Um, I do some booking, I do some entertaining, I do all sorts of things at this point. Man of all the hats.
Yeah, I mean, you've been around. I see that you've been doing, putting in your work. You got a bunch of videos with different types of people. You was brought to, what was it, Hater Court, whatever the fuck G Moski was doing, some shit like
Yep,
that, right?
yep, yep.
Uh, but you know, being that your first show was Tech Nine, right? Why is it that
Oh, that wasn't my first
you,
show. That wasn't my
but
first
your
show.
that
But
was the
but but
show
but
that,
what
go
gave me
ahead.
the peek behind the curtain as far as, oh, I can do that. Like that's a business. You know what I mean? It was the equivalent of, at the time I didn't have a job and I didn't have nothing to do. So it was
Right.
almost as if, well, that's interesting. Let me go take a peek over there and see where my talents and my education level and who I am as a person fit in.
Mm,
And as
mm,
I got more involved, you find out where your piece fits. You hope you could fit into as many different puzzles as you can. And you said I do a lot of things, and at this point, I do a lot of things, and it makes conversations about what I do for a living very confusing. But I find myself to be a piece of a puzzle that can
right.
go in all sorts of different puzzles. I'm like a border
Right.
piece.
Right. Yeah, you kind of gotta be like that nowadays. Like that's why I jumped into the podcasting space. I mean, I love podcasting for like over 10 years now. So, I was listening to podcasts when I would say podcast, and people be like, "What?" They'll look at me crazy, like, "What are you talking about?" I'm listening to a podcast right now. What the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Like, I even fought my brother and ended up stabbing him one time because, yeah, straight up. I said it before, but I ended up stabbing my own brother because I was depressed. I was in a fucking sad boy state, and I'm laying in the couch in the darkness, just listening to fucking Joe Rogan. And he's looking at me like, "You're listening to this shit again? You're gonna keep on listening to the same shit?" And I'm like, "This is a podcast. It comes out with an episode every fucking like 2 days or whatever." And he didn't understand it. And he started talking shit. He started acting up because he was drunk. And I was so depressed. I was so mad. I was like, "You not gonna fuck." So it went there. It went all the way to that level.
Let me
He
tell you,
started breaking shit in my house.
I wish I could go back in time and have this argument with myself and maybe stab myself, because in '06 I got involved on kind of a street level. You know what I mean? Slinging CDs, doing some street team type shit.
Mm,
Moved back to the Northeast, which is where I'm from. get involved with some local guys as an MC. So for a while, Chuck was a working rapper. Open mics several times a week with my homie Duddy D. We put out a EP called The Dope Men that actually got re-released this past April and is doing fairly well on digital shit. During that period of time, me and Duddy were recognized as being interesting, being well spoken and shit, and a position had opened up on a FM radio station down here in Rhode Island called 90.3 WRIU, which is a historical Northeast hip hop radio station. It's a college radio station out of the University of Rhode Island, but it was the first FM station in the country to dedicate a block of programming to independently programmed hip hop music. Apathy from the Demigods and Army of the Pharaohs, he was a regular in the studio over there. Sage Francis and B. Dolan from Strange Famous Records, who are fairly well known, they had shows over there. Master Ace, who's a fucking legend in hip hop, was one of the original 90.3 FM DJs. So me and Duddy move in with a DJ, and we start what we call Black Fridays, which was a 3-hour block of, you know, us programming hip hop every Friday afternoon from 3 to 6. Did that for a number of years, won some awards. People kept saying to me, why aren't you on the internet? And you know what I would say? Bitch, I'm on FM. That was my answer. And the ego had gotten in the way. The ego was so in the way. I was like, why am I going to sit in my room and talk to myself when I can go to the studio and I can talk to everybody? The numbers I'm doing now on the internet destroy any kind of number that I could have done locally, given what I was being given.
Right.
So, yeah, you know, crazy. I wish I could have gone back in time and shaken myself down and been like, yo, the podcasting thing is real. Don't play yourself. And it took me getting into Joe Rogan and getting into Your Mom's House and getting into Joe Budden, you know, the JVP and all that shit to really be like, damn, this is a feasible thing, even if I start just doing what I know.
Yeah. I mean, I was just scared. Like me, I've always been scared of the camera shit. Like I could perform. I'll get on the stage and perform like a motherfucker. But when I get in front of the camera, I'm like, all right, what do I do now? That was my take on it. It was like, what do I do now? I was not the type of person that can talk really well when the camera's on. You know, like this took a lot of work over the past year and a half of just doing it every fucking week and getting on the camera and just saying fuck it. If you fail, if you look crazy, if you embarrass yourself, fuck it, just do it. But you definitely have the gift to gab. You definitely have it to do way more than what you're even doing right now. You know what I mean? Definitely have that shit. All right, here's a question though. You put a lot of content out, exposing strange music, right? And you told me you just told me kind of like Tech Nine, that show kind of opened up your eyes on things that you can possibly do. So why is it that you put out so much stuff, and why do you feel the need to expose a label that's so loved in the underground?
I think that at this point, we are on a tipping point, not just as a, you know, overall nationally as a culture, but artistically, the walls between the business and the art are coming down. The curtain, you know, the ignore the man behind the curtain shit is coming down, because what I'm seeing is people who are highly talented and highly creative still being exploited by the non-creatives due to the fact that they just don't know what they need to know.
Right.
I don't think I'm exposing anybody. I think what I'm doing is I'm taking what I'm seeing and I'm transferring that into a lesson for someone else to be able to take down the road. Because I know you named this episode Underground Rappers Get Robbed Too. Mm-hmm. And if you're dealing with any kind of label system, you're getting robbed. One way or another, you're getting fucked with. I run my shit myself. No one else touches my stuff. I don't run none of my ideas through nobody else anymore. I know there are companies out there, Strange being one of them, where creatives who at this point in our development should be able to just put out their own stuff are still having to pitch these ideas and get thumbs up or thumbs down from non-creatives. Now, you pinpointed Strange, and that's kind of what turned you on to me clearly. Before
Right.
Strange, it was Psychopathic. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Before Psychopathic, it was local label around here that I don't even mention no more. I've been preaching this same story since 2006, just at different levels. So when I first started, it was I'm looking around and I'm one of the few rappers on the set who's not signed to some local nobody for no reason. And you see that all the time. These labels that pop up that there's no money there, there's no paperwork there, there's no structure there. What the fuck? You got a crew, you got a glorified
Right.
crew.
Right.
So once I got out of that realm and moved up, I realized, oh, it's just bigger, but the problems are still the same. The
Right.
behaviors from these people are still the same. So it might not be identical, but at base it is the same.
Right.
How many
No,
how
you're
many
right.
how many raps did Travis O'Gwin write?
None. This many.
At least Joe Bruce from Psychopathic wrote some raps. So you know
Right.
what I mean? Like even people I fuck with, at this point when I speak to artists and artists ask me what I think, and this has changed. This answer has changed. Now when I speak to an artist and it's like, well, I need a deal. No, you don't. What do you need a deal for? Because anything that you can list that a deal is going to give you, I can show you how to get you yourself. Like just get it yourself. Now, is it going to
Right.
be a little harder? Probably, but in the end, you're going to give up less stuff. I see a lot of dudes giving up a lot, spending a lot of money for what amounts to BS, because in the end, it's all a fugazi anyway. This whole
Yeah.
business is based on what you see. ICP, as much shit as I talked about certain people over there, Joe Bruce wrote a very interesting book called Behind the Paint. And in that book, he described how SoundScan was what finally convinced him that he was fucking viable, because he was being told by other rappers sales numbers that were fugazi. And then SoundScan came around, and SoundScan, wait a minute, you told me you sold 70K. SoundScan says you did 7. So you're full of shit. You've been feeding me lies, and we're still getting companies feeding rappers lies.
Absolutely.
In an attempt to get leverage over them. So
yeah.
That's why I'm not really looked upon by the label structure, and I mean any label structure at this point, as a viable thing, because I think they all need to go, including motherfuckers who I'm friendly with. I've made it very clear that there's record labels that I do business with that I'm friendly with, and I'm like, why do you have a bunch of non-creatives making decisions about? I always say the dudes making underground rap policy don't like underground rap music. So why should they be making policy, bro? Like,
Right.
what's in Travis's fucking truck? I want to know what's in that dude's CD player, because I guarantee it ain't King ISO. I guarantee it ain't any of his own dudes. So who's he got in his truck? Dudes like me dudes like me, dudes like you, dudes who operate in the space and are out here at these shows and are creating this art and next to these creatives. We used to work as A&Rs. I don't know if you know what an A&R is, or if any of your listeners understand the process of an A&R.
Explain it for the influence.
So back in the 90s, what you had was artist and repertoire, A&R. A&Rs were dudes who would go to clubs, and they would go to parties, and they'd go to the strippy, and they were just dudes like me who were just out there. They were DJs, they were radio hosts, they were fucking videographers. They were the auxiliary people who didn't work in the boardroom. They were the eyes and the ears for the dudes in the boardroom. They were the ones who went to these dudes in the boardroom and said, hey, if you're looking, so and so is hot. So like me, for example, when I heard like an Axe, for example, besides putting them on my show, I also talked to people I knew in certain power positions and said, hey, you should be looking at certain people. So
Mm-hmm.
A&Rs worked at all levels, including underground. But now there's no point. There's no point in us putting these people together, and these labels are seeing the A&R system collapse under its own weight because they don't want to
Right.
pay for us. They don't want to pay for the A&Rs. And then once the A&Rs produce good talent, very rarely do any of these labels now develop this talent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, no underground label that I know of has a talent development section. King ISO
Yeah.
has
No.
done no growth, really, from where he was day one on Strange. That's not a
Right.
diss. That's not a diss.
No,
That
because King Iso's fire. Like he can rap. He can rap his
and,
fucking ass off.
and with Strange's backing, he should be on Sway in the
Mm-hmm.
Morning. He should be on No Jumper. Those are the things that grow your brand, that grow your profile. It seems like most labels now are developed to handle one artist, and the
Yeah.
support monetarily of that one artist comes from other artists.
Right. Right.
The
Right.
joke,
It's a trickle
joke
down. It's a trickle down
it's a
society. Like
trickle up. It's a trickle up. It's almost a pyramid scheme. I hate calling it a scheme because it's not. Because it's just the way the business has been done for years and years. But that's why
Right.
people like you need to disrupt it. You know what I mean? Somebody
Correct.
like Russ, for example. Russ
Mm-hmm.
owns all his shit. Like somewhere there's a fucking CEO kicking himself because he didn't get his piece of that. And understand the
Yep.
piece that people get taken from them from these labels is way bigger than it
Way
should be,
bigger.
needs to be, or you would think. And that's why you
Yeah.
have people like Ashante re-recording her masters because
Yep. Yep.
Irv Gotti owns them, and she, at 20 years later, she wants them. She wants that song back. She wants to be able to clock that nickel when her shit pops
Mm-hmm.
up on Now That's What We Call Music, Volume 67. You feel me? The artists are
Right.
finally getting smarter to the system, to the fact that you don't need mainstream media attention anymore to be famous, to have any kind of fan base, whether it's music, whether it's comedy, whether it's movies, which we'll talk about where I'm headed in my own career.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I do now, if I had to put my job into 2 words, you know what I do for a living? I am a media disruptor. My
Right.
job is to go to these different media things and figure out how to disrupt them. I figured out how to disrupt underground music. I think I did that well, and then I think I put it back together a little bit with Netfest. Right now,
Okay.
I'm making a move into something else that's independent in nature. I don't even like saying underground anymore. That's how much I think things have changed in the last 15 years of me
You
seeing
don't
things.
feel like what would be the name for underground
Independent,
now?
independent,
And just independent.
disruptive hip hop. How about that? Because underground became a catch-all for a bunch of stuff that sucks. Like
Right.
underground became a catch-all for the reason that nobody listens to my shit isn't because I suck. It's because I'm underground. That became the fucking sentence. Bruh.
Right.
Bruh.
Right.
No. Underground can still be popular. Underground can still be loud and make noise. But it's
Right.
gotta be disruptive. I'm seeing a lot of
Right.
boring shit right now. There's nobody in our underground scene. We go back to tech too. Aaron. Aaron rapped a whole lot of fucking words to not have said nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Tech,
No. That's the
tech,
problem.
tech,
That's the
tech has
problem.
done a lot to have said nothing. You know why people still talk about Pac the way they do?
Because you said
Because
a
Pac
lot.
was saying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Pac was saying stuff.
Right, right, right. Yeah, a
Russ
lot
got
of people right now they're scared. I think a lot of people right now, Chuck, they're scared, like because everything is so tied to corporate, corporations, and oh, I don't want to fuck this up because then maybe this venue is gonna cut me off or whatever the fuck it is. So a lot of people are just scared. They're playing like they pussyfooting and they're playing the game that the majors are playing. And that's not underground to me. Like if you're underground, then you don't give a fuck. Just do what you do, and that's it. But the fact that you're like tippy toeing around things and they're tippy toeing around like, oh, I can't say that thing. That's the reason why Tech would come out and say a bunch of nothing and make it sound like he said something, like make it sound really good. He said a bunch of, he got a lot of syllables that rhymed, but it really ain't giving you the umph that it's supposed to if you're underground. Underground's supposed to be like exactly like how you said, disruptive.
Well, no, that's why he's got to put music as a whole has become very just washed out, and that's why people need to put out so much stuff. It seems you know, you can't put out one record and have it be a classic for 5 years. Like you can't. After 5 years, you're gonna kill your career if you don't put out something else. So
Right.
the attention span of people is wrong. That's just been on the downswing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and just what we're saying. I mean, there's nobody. I see nobody in the underground. I mean, King ISO says some shit. I'll say that. King ISO reminds me of Tech 20 years ago. I'm reading in your chat somebody talking about they rock with King ISO heavy. So do I. ISO reminds me of a hungry Tech. And unfortunately,
Right.
in his current situation, he's going to remain a hungry Tech because he's signed to a rapper who's given up a lot of his money to somebody who's a non-creative.
Why do you think that is though? Why do you think that King ISO is gonna stay that way outside of him giving, giving all his
I don't think he'll stay that way
shit to
forever.
rapper?
I just think as long as he's there under that structure, because
What
nobody
is it?
there knows what to
What
do
is
with
it?
them.
What is it about that structure, Chuck, that especially like strange music, like you seen the shit that they've been doing. Obviously I watched you and I was like, yep, that's what I seen, but you just gave me the you just confirmed it for me. You basically said, yeah, look at these guys. This guy's buying a bunch of cars, he's buying a bunch of shit. And we know the business as far as like he buys a bunch of cars, he rents it out to the artists for their
Yep.
music videos or
And
whatever the fuck it is.
Joe K did a fantastic fucking job of
Yep.
breaking down how you can own 50% of one company and still be fucking broke and your homeboy being, and we actually saw this happen because I was using a fucking like a joking kind of explanation where it's like, all right, well, you and your girlfriend live in an apartment together, and you're like, we're gonna split all the bills and everything we make in half. But after
Right.
a couple of years, your chick's got way more money than you, and then she fucking tells you on the side, oh wait a minute, you don't know, I own the building we live in. So when we pay rent
Mm-hmm.
every month, it goes into my pocket. Oh, and by the way, the grocery store where we get our groceries,
Mm-hmm.
I own that fucking thing. So even though we're splitting the grocery price, the entirety of it goes in my pocket at the end of the fucking day.
Right.
That's what
Right.
Travis does. That's what CEOs of labels do. And the more layers to that onion, the bigger that onion becomes for that fucking CEO. We're
Right.
seeing it on a smaller level. Anybody, I made a point of saying this, anybody who got a Chris Calico announcement email that had never ordered anything from Chris Calico, Magic Ninja Entertainment has several layers to their onion at this point. If you include Great Merch Company and you include Welcome to the Underground and then the main label and then the toy
Mm-hmm.
company, which I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if anybody's noticing that they're doing a lot of pushing of a toy company all of a sudden. That's, I mean, I'm get your money. I'm no longer going
Right.
to provide anybody with intellectual property or art to do that with.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need if you
Yeah.
if you want to use me, I'm gonna need some equity, and I think that's where everybody should be.
Right.
I think that's where Gibby's at. We saw Gibby's deal didn't even really last an entire year, did it?
It didn't
With
go a
Magic
whole
Ninja,
year, man. It didn't
because
go a whole year.
Gibby got in, Gibby got what he needed, and Gibby got out. Gibby had people in his ear that are smart and that saw things coming. What
Mm-hmm.
good does it make any MC to be signed to a rock group? And
Right.
vice versa. What good is it for a fucking rapper to sign a rock group? With the exception of Mayday, which has
Right.
two fucking rappers in the fucking group. The only other quote unquote rock experiment Strange had was Above Waves. which nobody even knows who these guys are.
Yeah. I saw a couple things about them, but
Above Waves was Travis trying to boy band a mainstream rock group.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
They fucking failed. Those guys didn't even know each other.
Yeah.
So you've got
fucking
you've got now Strange, which is essentially the management company for Tech Nine and his catalog. That's their main deal. That's their main fucking thing. And then they have subsidiaries, and to keep shit afloat, they make money off of other dudes.
right.
Magic
Yeah,
Ninja
they're doing a lot of
Magic Ninja is the management company and the office for Twisted.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they even like for the bulk of all their artists, they put out their videos on YouTube under the Twisted YouTube channel. They didn't even put it up under Magic Ninjas. They didn't really try to push
I'm
it
on
out.
a podcast. Yeah, no,
they never put it out,
well,
right?
No, I mean, now they're working on the other
right.
their other platforms, because when I came in, Astronomicon was my pure focus for a while, and we built that platform. With the help of NetFest, that platform actually has more subscribers, the Astronomicon one, than the Magic Ninja one does, if I'm not mistaken. So I know that through the Magic Ninja YouTube, they want to be able to use that as more of a better platform, but they have to build that up because their focus for so long has been Twisted. And that has resulted in hundreds of thousands of subscribers to their channel. So yeah, when you get signed by Magic Ninja, you would like that to mean that Twisted is who signed you, and they're going to share your stuff, and then you're going to get that runoff. When in reality, that's not what happens.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You get signed by Strange, yeah, Tech shares your stuff here and there, but you didn't get signed by Tech Nine. You know what I'm saying? You didn't get signed by Tech Nine. I know Twisted. I know they're not making not like completely unanimous decisions over there either. So it's, you know what I mean? So it's not like you're being signed by everybody. You might not even be liked by everybody in some of these situations. Someone might bring you in, and the dude that you are counting on to put you on might fucking hate your guts and doesn't like the fact that you're there. But they won't even fucking say that to you. They won't even say that to you. Because then that might just cause them stress. What I've been seeing, and this is why I've moved the way I've moved laterally into film. If I was going to hang out with a bunch of fucking actors, I might as well go hang out with a bunch of fucking actors, because at least actors don't get fucking mad when you tell them they're doing a good job acting. When I tell a rapper, you're doing a good job acting as hard as you are when you're a fucking pussy, they get really mad. They get super mad. But if I
because you're seeing through the gimmick. You're seeing through the gimmick.
If I tell a gay actor, you're doing a good job playing a straight dude, he's probably going to give me a high five. So I'm going to go fuck with actors who are fucking proud to be actors. Because all I'm seeing in the underground right now is a bunch of actors. I said this before I went away. My mother died back in September, and I took a hiatus for my own podcast. But one of the last videos I put out was, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not involved in any beef with anyone, anywhere. You know why? Because everybody's pussy. That's why. Because for 2 years, I was involved in a war where none of the primary parties got punched in the fucking face. How are we still shooting shit shots back and forth between two rap groups, and not one of these 50-year-old motherfuckers has gotten punched in the fucking face?
What group are you talking about? Like what?
I don't know. Motherfuckers know.
Specify.
The only beef I was fucking involved in. ICP is still putting fucking shit against Twisted in fucking CD books. Not one of these fucking dudes has gotten punched in the fucking face yet. No one. Like, and when given the opportunity to publicly make certain stands, the decision is being made not to. And it's being made not to in order to attempt to placate some fucking strange, fucking on the fence still fucking fan base who just don't want to argue about nothing. So what that ends with is a couple of months ago, like I go on tour with Twisted, and I'm witnessing people like Blaze Your Dead Homie still having to have 30 fucking minute conversations with fans about why they don't fuck with ICP no more. Bitch, it's been 5 years. It's been 5 fucking years. So I'm done. I'm done with everybody. I'm done with the rappers who are too afraid to tell the fans what the fuck is good. I'm fucking done with the fans that are too afraid to tell the fucking rappers what's good. I'm done with rappers who will fucking talk shit about dudes who live down the fucking road from them for a decade, but won't punch a motherfucker in the face. Like for real. Like at some point, I just gotta laugh. I just gotta laugh. And maybe it's just a lot of dudes from that town.
I feel you. Yeah, no, I mean, it's probably just they don't want to get all the way into it. If somebody punch somebody in the face, they're gonna probably lose. Everybody's thinking they're gonna lose half a fucking fan base.
Say something that means something. Do something that means something. Like, do something that means something. Do anything. Like the big thing that all the juggalos was supposed to have done was that march thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good job. Like, do something that means something. Say something that means something.
Let's shift gears a little bit, but kind of the same realm. One thing I didn't like wasn't it supposedly that Tech Nine found Darian Saffron, right? So Darian Saffron got signed to Strange. His deal was shit. They fucked him out of everything. They didn't do anything. They didn't listen to any of his ideas or anything that he wanted to do with his career. Then he felt the need to expose them, to be real about what was going on. Dog, this is what happened to me. This is what they did. And then because he said some shit online, which he didn't say anything about Tech specifically, they tacked on a bunch of fees. So they said. And then Tech had the nerve to put in the comments, oh yeah, that kid that we hit him with a bunch of fees because he's talking shit. And it fucked me up. It fucked me up because it's like, dude.
You go, like I said, you might get signed by one dude. So Tech might love you. Travis don't think you're a viable person. So he's going to fuck with you because he can't tell Tech he's not going to sign you because Tech really wants you signed. So you're going to sign, but we're going to fuck with you. And then it's a two-way game of telephone where no matter what's really going on, Travis and Tech have that conversation's always different. Right. Now, it also don't matter sometimes what Tech wants. In the end, it clearly didn't matter because I'm sure there were conversations of Tech saying, look, work with the kid, dude, and no, fuck that. We're not going to do that. And then the kid lashed out, and that gave the office the leverage on Tech to say, you see your boy, now he's a fuck up. Not that we pushed him to being a fuck up. We had nothing to do. Nothing we did caused him to lash out at all. The fact that we would not put out his music and we wouldn't pay him, that's got nothing to do. The fact that he can't go and sign with nobody else because he's under contract with us till he pays back the recoupment that we keep increasing.
Right.
Like those things, that's paperwork slavery, bro. There's I'll tell you when we get off, but there's at least one other artist that I know for right now who's active, who the only reason that he is still signed to the crew he's signed to is because he owes them money. But they're not doing anything for him to help him with his income. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point in every label deal, you hit a wall where either you're making it the nut worth the squeeze for them or you're not. And it's been happening. This isn't new. What happened to Darian is not new. Do you remember a guy by the name of Prince? The same fucking thing happened to Prince. The only reason it didn't happen to Prince is because he was Prince.
Right.
Now, I don't know legally if Darian Saffron can do what Prince did, where Prince said, I'm the artist formerly known as Prince. They own Prince's music, which that's when you start getting into these weird loopholes. And I think a lot of artists need to start looking at these loopholes.
Yeah.
If someone owns the rights to like, if you have to deliver, because most contracts, especially now, aren't even based on records; they're based on singles. So I know, like, if you say sign with Steve Rifkin, he's going to want 20 singles out of you. It's not, however long it takes, 20 singles, because they don't even want records. They just want
That's your
singles.
whole career. That's your whole fucking career right there. 20 singles, your
20
whole
singles.
fucking
No,
career.
20 singles. No, now it's not. Now it's not. It used to be.
It is though, because they're gonna put fucking benchmarks on it.
But what you're not thinking about is that line that says they gotta accept what you give them.
Right.
Right. And most of those dudes are non-creatives. So if you're Darian Saffron and you had to deliver 20 singles to Travis, and you delivered 80 songs to Travis, right? But Travis is listening to fucking Jelly Roll nonstop, and that's what he likes. And he don't like what you're doing, and he just turns down all your fucking music, bro, you're fucked. This is where the A&R used to come in. This is where the A&R used to go to the studios with the artists. The A&Rs used to be in the studios and say, you know, you're looking for this type of record. You want them to take it, you need to have one of these. Now, even that's changed to some degree. I say now the standard record structure doesn't count. You don't need a single. You don't need a club record. You don't need one for the ladies.
No, you don't. You don't.
All right. If you're a hardcore fucking street dude, why are you wasting any time at all trying to put track 4 as something for the ladies when no one's going to stream that shit? Just do what you know. Double down on what you know and what your fan base likes. That's what I'm doing now. I think a couple of things going forward that every rapper needs, or MC, artist of any kind, if you deal with digital at all, you need to be working on compressing the length of your art. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but when's the last time, show a flame emojis in the chat. When's the last time you listened to a 3-verse song all the way fucking through? That was in excess of 4 minutes.
Yeah. No. I don't even do it myself because I know half the people. I watch people listen to music. When they listen to music,
Nas's new shit is 124 bar verse and a hook, typically.
Right.
You know why? You know why? It's real easy. You want to know why?
Go ahead.
In the time it takes me to stream one 3-minute song, I can stream 3 1-minute songs. That's 3 streams verse 1. So
and that's streams, right?
What I've been putting out myself are 1 minute long comedy bits via streaming,
right?
Because in the time it takes somebody to stream 1 3-minute song, I can get 3 streams on one of my tracks. All right, we're about to cross 1 million streams total in the last, say, 6 weeks, I think. TikTok. How long is your longest TikTok video?
A minute.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Artists should be focusing on places their art can fit in as a puzzle piece. If you go shorter with it, more of a chance that you're going to get picked up by something like TikTok. The Bing Bong phenomenon is from an underground rapper. Now his career was doing fine, but it was that 1 minute long fucking. It's not even a song. It's just him shit talking that really got him put on. That's after him doing 40. He's got more than 40 albums. Nems has more than 40 fucking albums available on digital. Bing Bong got him fucking put on. 60 seconds of him going Byron got him fucking put on. Now people who like him on that can go back to the foundation that he built.
Chuck,
and there's meat on that bone.
Do you think that's why people are not fucking putting out these 5-minute songs like back in the day? They're not even trying. You know what I mean? Like I know for me, for a sense, like I do not put out long songs. I never really been into the long song thing because I'm more of a pop punk rock type of dude at heart. I rap since I was a little kid, so my rap shit has always been there. Like I could rap like this, but the sense of like putting on the song for that long is just fucking it's retarded because at the end of the day, people that I've watched listen to music, they'll listen to it for a minute and they skip it. They'll just listen to it for a minute and they'll skip it in the car. Like, dude, you didn't even listen to the rest of it. Like, I like to hear the whole shit at the end, the
Yep, the
little
whole
dee 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 dee.
composition. But that's the SoundCloud phenomenon where dudes were getting beats. See, we also had a huge change in music when everything went to digital. It used to be a
Yep.
bunch of dudes in a room together, from the producer to the vocalist and the writers to the instrumentalists. You all were had to be in one room, all right?
Right.
And typically you were all on the same drug. Now
Right.
what now what you got is producers who aren't producers. You got producers who are beat makers. So they sell a beat a la carte, and sometimes the shit ain't even finished. Sometimes they sell a loop. All right.
Right.
And then a rapper takes it home and he has someone different loop that fucker. And then he puts so there's no special little things to it. It's not like when you listen to Led Zeppelin and there are notes in that last 20 seconds of the song that do not exist anywhere else because the
Right.
outro is different than the rest of the song. And there were even parts of rap early on where different parts of the record, Drake still does it,
Mm-hmm.
where literally the song will just change fucking tempo in the middle. That's
Right.
the type of thing that if you're not doing something to renew interest in shit, Travis Scott's the king of here's 20 seconds of one type of thing, and then we're going to shift gears to something else. That's the only
Mm-hmm.
way you can fucking force feed the attention spans of some of these people anything longer than, say, 60 seconds.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've done it myself. But let's shift gears a little bit. Well, actually, I want to ask you about what's your issue with ICP and the Juggalo family?
I don't have
Let's
an
go with
issue with
that.
either. My issue, if there was one, this all came about. I'm a lifelong juggalo. Motherfuckers know that. That's one of the reasons I'm involved in this. Um, at a point in time, we were declared a gang by the federal government. It's become quite the news story since then, and I'm talking about
Right,
the fan
right, right,
base.
right,
So
right.
the argument becomes, well, we're not a gang. Well, okay, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are portions of us who operate as criminal entities. So
Right.
there was a lot of the government did X to me because I'm a juggalo. So, for example, homegirl got fired from her job and couldn't get a license. And she kept saying, because I'm a juggalo. But if you look into it, besides being a juggalo, she was on her fourth DUI. So why did they fucking take your license? Was it because of your 4 DUIs or the fact you're a juggalo? They took my kids. CPS took my kids because I have Hatchet Man stuff. Is it because you have Hatchet Man stuff, or is it because you have nothing but Hatchet Man stuff?
Right.
Is your kid having to sleep in one of your fucking jerseys because you don't have anything else for the kid because you have nothing but Hatchet Man stuff? Because that's a different problem. So I'm preaching self responsibility. I'm
Right.
preaching that,
Accountability. Accountability. Yeah, take some
and
fucking
that
accountability
went
for yourself.
that went directly against the selling points of the marketing for the march that they had. Um, I had a problem originally with them employing a convicted rapist. We had received information that they had somebody who had raped a 13-year-old at gunpoint. In their employment, like in the structure of the booking of them. And it was like, well, that doesn't jive with what you've said. So that was me trying to hold them to account. That ruffled at this point, stan culture has ruined most of music
It
because
has. It definitely
because you
has.
you cannot make a logical, well thought out, morally responsible critique of anybody without a large portion of their fucking fan base turning on you. And that's what happened with ICP, was that I made a logical, well thought out, morally responsible critique of things they were doing. And that by itself was enough to set off all their stands. And Juggalo stands are violent. Tech has talked about receiving death threats. I don't even want to talk. I don't even like talking about it. People come across those videos now from 5 years ago and still send me death threats because of things I said about the march 5 years ago. At some point, I'm going to end up taking the shit down because at this point, it was not. It wasn't my it was my battle to fight at the time, but now I could give one less of an iota of a fucking single shit. I could give a fuck because the music ICP is making is no longer the music that I'm a fan of. The music that Twisted is making, which is like the other part of that argument to some degree, which is what it fucking turned into. They're not doing anything I'm a big, huge fan of either at the moment.
No.
So
you don't like the rock shit? You don't like the rock album?
I've said it before. It's not that I'm not a fan. I am not versed enough in that genre of entertainment to make an informed decision, and it's not for me. Like, I date a girl who's a raver. I don't know what the fuck good rave music is. Like, you know what I mean? I don't. So I'm not going to sit here and say something sucks. I can't sit here and point a finger and go, well, that sucks, because I don't know enough about it. If it was rap and it sucked, I could, but it's not. So that's what it is. And, if they're shifting gears, that's cool. It's no longer for me then. And that's the way this should be. That's the way this should be, though. Because at one point in time, you know what I really liked? You know what I fucking liked a lot? Like, I dressed up as, like, one of them one time. Berenstein Bears. I used to love the Berenstein Bears. Guess what? Shit ain't for me no more, bro. So at some point in your journey, shit should no longer be for you. I look around, and especially amongst juggalos, I see people who have literally been doing the same fucking shit since they were 12 years old that are now in their fucking 40s. And I'm like, you haven't outgrown nothing? You haven't fucking changed at all? Then you're an NPC to me, bro. At this point, I look at this whole fucking thing like a video game. And if you've literally been working the counter at the fucking pub in fucking Winterhold for the past fucking 2 years, you're an NPC to me. I'm out here having adventures. I'm trying to fucking do other things. I'm trying to experience other shit. But there are people in my feeds who every year it's the same fucking list of shows. And that's on all sides of this. That's on all sides of this. Whether it's the juggalo side of things or your standard hip hop side of shit, stan culture has led to us being cultish in a lot of fucking gross ways.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I'm not trying to drink the Kool-Aid. I'm trying to make that shit.
It even goes with politics. It goes with everything now. Everything now. If you say anything like Dave Chappelle had a fucking issue with the LGBTQ and all this shit, and he took a picture with was it Patton Oswalt or whatever the fuck his name is. He ended up having to apologize in a lengthy apology.
He didn't have to. He did.
He felt like he did.
If I'm Dave Chappelle,
why did he feel like he did though?
If I'm Dave Chappelle, I'm calling him and saying, don't you ever fucking call me again. We are no longer fucking friends. Because you don't take a picture with me because we're friends. And then a bunch of people you don't know tell you I'm the devil. And then you're going to apologize? Like, no one, and I've said this in videos, no one should agree with 100% of the fucking shit I say.
Right.
You know
Absolutely
why?
Not.
Because sometimes I'll say some crazy shit. You want me to say some crazy shit? Big L is overrated.
What?
See? That's one of my opinions. That if you agree with that opinion, you're fucking crazy. Because that to me is just a shit starter opinion. Okay?
Right.
So if you agree with every fucking thing I say, I don't even want you around me. Because you crazy. Like, if I can't be around a bunch of yes men. So it bothers me when I see these MCs that are incapable of receiving critique, fostering fan bases that are unable to make critiques.
Hmm.
No one should agree with anybody else 100 fucking percent, man. Nobody. It's called being a
Absolutely
true
not.
believer, and be aware and be afraid of all true believers.
Absolutely not, yo. You hit it right on the fucking head, Chuck. Yo, let's shift completely because I want to know about your comedy album. I know your last one
All right.
did a million streams and shit. What you working on with the new comedy
So
project? Because you told me
these first
you
two,
working on
because
some
I was
shit.
just this was me marrying a couple of different things. All right. This was me marrying more than a decade in the music business and watching those changes as we moved into digital. My forward thinking shit with the shorter form content and the more of it, and then me just taking what I already had and
Right,
repurposing it. So a lot of
right,
people say, okay, you got a podcast, that's one product, right? But not really. Because if you take your podcast and then you transcribe it, you got a book, and that's a second product. Talking
right,
Sopranos just did that, where they basically just transcribed
right.
their podcast and called it the Sopranos Omnibus, right? So I said, why don't I take my podcast and I cut a minute of funny out of it at a time? So I already had all this existing content. So these first two, that's all I've been doing is taking the existing content, taking some of the funnier shit that was not rap related necessarily, that was just kind of funny. The first one was all about my experiences looking up extinct animal erotica fan fiction on Amazon. If you go into Amazon and you search for gay dinosaurs, what comes up is an entire universe of books, of actual literature that's written from the perspective of dinosaurs are real, dinosaurs can now be rich, they're all gay, and most of them will force you to be gay with them because they're fucking dinosaurs. So I went through the whole thing, and it's like 9 minutes, like 9 tracks, and it's stuff like Space Raptor Butt Invasion. We talk about that book. We talk about Space Raptor Butt Redemption, things like that. My billionaire T Rex CEO forced me gay. Um, that record is called My Billionaire T Rex Brachiosaurus Forced Dinosaurs in My Butt, if I'm not mistaken. Or you can go to my website at beasthostbeard.com and you can click one of those links. It's marked gay dinosaurs and it'll come up. The next one is called Fat, Bald, Old, Pale, and Other Complaints. And what it is 27 tracks, each around a minute in length, of just me talking some shit. Whether it's me talking shit about how I was old and I fell down the fucking stairs, or how I sunburn way too easy, or how I'm fucking ugly, or how somebody got a production deal, but it doesn't matter because 60% of nothing is still nothing. All these things, and it's just a minute of just randomness with no music, and I just wanted to see if it would work, and it did. I put the shit out independently through DistroKid, like you would your standard rap album, but with
Right,
literally no underlying production costs because the shit already existed. I didn't need beats for it because it's marked as spoken word comedy on all the stuff.
right,
And people
right.
forget comedians used to put out just here's me talking.
Album.
Like here's
Right,
me talking. Like you know what I mean? That's what Bill Burr does now. He just puts out him talking every day. And podcasting pays some money. Spotify streams pay some money as well. The whole thing is about creating different streams, and getting multiple bites of the same apple.
no doubt, no doubt. So you working on something new?
It'll be out on 2/2. It's already up. It's already up for pre-order and pre-save. If you go to beasthostbeard.com, that's the Fat, Bald, Ugly, Pale, and Other Complaints joint, which will be out on 2/2/22. Um, and then I plan on dropping something either every month or every 2 months for the rest of the year. And it's just going to be
Doubt.
spoken word, comedy, shit talk. Sooner or later, something that I feel as if underground, entertainment is missing. That all we kind of just don't get them anymore. Live records.
Right,
So sooner or later, I'd love to be able to do one of my stage shows and actually bring that audio to digital the same sort of a way. Um, we've been trying to get people like Twisted to do a live record for a long fucking time, and it's just like the last
It ain't
good
coming.
live rap. When you ever heard a live rap record?
Nah, I mean the last one was probably like unplugged with like Jay-Z and shit.
That's exactly what I think of when I think of that. That concert's the reason I don't think anybody can beat him at verses.
Right. So you got all these things going on right now.
Yeah,
You said 2222,
yeah.
right?
2222 to start off February. I guess that's Groundhog Day. It's Groundhog Day. That'll be out,
Yeah, definitely.
and then that
So,
starts a really like a whirlwind next 6 months for me. Um, Starting in February, I have to travel. One of the things I do that we haven't even touched on, I'm currently the fourth ranked groomed beard up to 1 foot in America. I'm a
oh
nationally
yeah,
ranked. Yeah, I'm a nationally ranked beard competitor. So starting in February, we start competition again. So, well, I start competition again. So February 18, 19, maybe. I'm not looking at the schedule, but towards the end of February, I'm going to be in Austin, Texas for the Texas
no.
National Beard and Mustache Championship. Um, During sometime in February, I think I have to be in New York. I'm filming a movie called Stream that I'm the assistant
Mm,
producer on. That's a horror film. Then after
that's
that,
what's up.
I'm doing another movie called Phantom Fun World. That's in March going into April. And then when we get done with that, I got to start promoting for that because that'll be out in November. But what you do is you just, you hit cons and you do promotion and marketing and activations all throughout the year to get people, tuned into what's happening.
No
So
doubt, no doubt. Yo, you gotta hit me up. We're gonna talk in the DMs because for sure I got some instrumentals that might work on a fucking horror film. Like that's also what I do on the side. I do instrumentals and shit that would work on horror films and other
see,
shit
then
like
you
that.
already thinking ahead. See, you already thinking ahead. I knew that. I
Of
knew this was going to
course,
be a
of
good one
course. I just
because you rap
I
it.
try to
Like
act.
you saying that to me makes me think of people. That's the one thing dudes
Yeah,
need to be looking at is sequencing. If you can
that's what
get
I'm trying to do.
your
Syncing and sequencing.
yeah,
Correct.
syncing and sequencing because I listened to a dude named Vince Staples, and Vince Staples was able to recoup 4 times his album budget before he ever pressed a fucking CD because of syncing and sequencing. You know what I'm saying? So like
What I'm trying to
multiple
do.
bites at the same apple. Like seriously, if you grow a
Exactly.
plant, if you grow a tree, it has a fruit. You can fucking pull some leaves off that motherfucker. You can turn the wood into stuff. People haven't been using all the parts of the animal for a long time. We tried to use
Absolutely.
all the parts of the animal around this motherfucker.
That's exactly what we're trying to do. Yo, let everybody know where they'll find you.
Beasthostbeard.com. Beasthostbeard.com. And all my links on there, all my social medias. I'm mostly active on Instagram these days because Facebook makes me insane. I'm not allowed on Twitter. I haven't been on Twitter in a number of years. So
I don't even fucking go.
maybe
I don't
we'll
even do
try
it.
that this year. But yeah, everything's on there. My big projects that I'm pushing right now, like I said, I encourage everybody stream the record one time. Like go over to check me out, Chuck Reeves on Spotify, wherever you get music for free. There's not even physical shit available yet. If there's some sort of a demand for it, we'll see what happens. I'm no
Right.
longer focusing on physical music. I don't think many people are.
I mean, I did, but and it did well for me last month when I dropped my Audio Sage. But I wouldn't expect everybody to do it. Like I got some pretty loyal
Oh, if
people
I was
that
touring, if
hold
I
me
was
down.
touring and I had merch
Right.
needs, that's different. But sitting at home, I don't see many people ordering CDs. I have one CD player in here. I think
Right.
maybe. You know
Right.
what I mean? Most people don't even have one of those. And then if you are interested in horror films, independent films, or anything like that, if you go to my website, beasthostbeard.com, you can go ahead and help us produce Phantom Fun World through our Indiegogo campaign, which, if you're not familiar with Indiegogo allows fans the opportunity to become financially responsible for the art that they want had to see produced. So what we have
Right.
up there is a pitch for our movie. the people we have in it, which includes people like the first Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. He's one of our stars. Clearly, you know, I'm in it. But then it gives you options. So you can say, for example, pre-order the DVD. For $20, you can pre-order the DVD for the movie we haven't made yet. Now, what that also gives you is your name in the credits as a special thank you. And it kind of, you know, gives you this opportunity to really get involved with the filmmaking process. Hoodies, t-shirts, screen use props. I know he's given away roles at this point, my director, that if you want to come be a zombie in one portion of this film, you can come out for a certain amount of money, have our people do your makeup and things, and then be put in this film, get IMDb credit. It's a fantastic way to break into the movie business, so to speak, and it's kind of a back door I found that I'm enjoying the fuck out of. So I encourage everybody go check out my website. I appreciate you having me over here and reaching out, man.
No doubt, man. Chuck, man, we're gonna have to do this shit again, man. This shit was fun. We're gonna have to do this again. Look, I got like a bunch of questions here. Half them bitches were answered.
Hey,
yeah,
we'll have you.
You's a motherfucker. You killed that shit.
We'll have you on. We'll have you over on my channel before too much longer. Once I'm back.
No doubt. I'll be ready for it. Yo, all right. This is the Street Shaman podcast. I appreciate everybody in the chat. I appreciate everybody in the comments. Appreciate all the donators. Make sure you like, you subscribe, you share, you do everything that you can to make this shit grow. Yeah, Street Shaman podcast. Shamanic Poe, aka Poe and the Rockstar, here with Chuck Reeves, and we out of here, motherfucker.